lunchtime and I'm having a bagel with peanut butter and jam, which is something I imagine some people might struggle with, and I used to. It's this like idea of not being allowed to have more than the minimal of anything. So like when you're spreading your peanut butter, it's hard to go over just a scraping because then it seems like more than you'd need to have. Or like hard to have jam on top of your peanut butter because it's like an unnecessary topping. Why have it when you could have just had the peanut butter? Or maybe even hard to have a bagel, like if you think, oh, that's gonna be more calories than bread or something, then it can be hard to kind of like justify the calories and allow yourself. And one thing is just, it tastes nicer to have food properly. And you might think like, oh, well, it's not worth it. If it's more calories, the taste doesn't matter. But like, it does. And it's normal. Like, other people aren't putting minimal spreads on things. Like, that's your eating disorder control. And one thing that bothered me was then I could never let people cook food for me because I was so scared they would use more than my minimal daily amounts. And I'm sure people must have experience of like, enviously watching someone else eat something that they've made properly, like a bagel with peanut butter and jam, looks delicious, and you're like really jealous of them eating it and thinking like, oh my god, I wish I could do that. But you can, because it also doesn't just stop there. Like, it's not just minimal calories. Down the line it also becomes minimal life, minimal relationships, minimal fun, minimal ability to be spontaneous and go out and eat with other people or to let other people cook for you, minimal thoughts about anything other than food during your day. So even though it might feel like you have to only spread however much you spread, or you can only have one topping, you can't have two, that's bullshit. That's all a rule in your head. Right, I've just found half a banana in the fridge. I think it must be left over from Brendan's breakfast. So I'm gonna have that on my peanut butter, which I didn't know it was there. Like, this isn't planned. I'm not gonna try and work it into my day. Like, it's just half a banana. My body's not a robot. It's not a calculator. I don't need to be controlling and balancing all my meals or like only sticking to minimal versions of everything. Like, ugh, minimal food, minimal life. So this is where your head might start kicking in, like, oh, that's too much, you need to put a bit back, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, brain, shut up. Actually, if anything, I could do with a bit more on that. And then you might start getting thoughts about these like extra bits, like, oh, just scrape that bit off. You don't need to have that on there. That's unnecessary calories. Like, no, brain, it's not. I don't want to live a life of minimals anymore. Just basically block the thoughts and keep going. And again, no, I don't need to scrape that bit back into the pot. Food is just food. It's not a number or something I need to control. Break the cycle. Got the puppy out. Hey Bertie. Hi darling. So the thing that would often happen to me after I did something like spread more spread than I was used to was then I would feel guilty. Actually, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would do these things and then be like, what was all the fuss about? But then other times I would feel horrific and it was like all I could think about, all I could focus on. Yeah, literally thought about it all day. Like, if you feel shit, you feel shit. It's okay, just do it anyway. Like, feeling shit passes, but your eating disorder doesn't. Look at little puppy here. Hi darling. Oh, hi Bertie. Elisa from Follow the Intuition says this thing that I really love. She says, when you leave the table, leave the table. That meal is done and I can still have my snacks and my lunch. Like, I don't need each meal to bleed into the next meal with me trying to like balance them out and control them across the day, which is similar to the do not compensate. Like, I don't now need to miss some calories in my snack to make up for the calories in the banana. No, I just made myself a bagel like anybody else can eat, because there's no point in having something challenging and then missing calories out elsewhere or burning calories off to compensate for it. So yeah, even if you feel shit, like, that's okay. You can sit with it, you can tolerate it, try and distract yourself from it if it works. Just don't turn to your eating disorder for a quick fix, because that is not breaking any cycle at all. That's just keeping you well and truly in your eating disorder Groundhog Day cycle. I got a muffin from like one of my all-time favourite cafes in Dubai. What is it? It's like banana and walnut and sticky fudge or something, I want to say. I went there to meet my friend for lunch. Well, I had breakfast food, but still, it was lunchtime. Just really fancied some eggs. I've actually got the little dog out here with me. Betty. So I'll eat this and then I'll play with him.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind.
Betty. Sort your ears out. Ready? Nope. Betty. Go fetch. What's he doing?
Attention span of a fish. First. Ready? Go. Nope. Alright.
So Bren and I were just playing with Bertie in the garden, and then Bren invented this game like on the stairs with a tennis ball, and the cats were actually chasing the ball as well. So we're like trying to integrate them at the moment and like get them to play together and for him to not chase them. He just wants to play, but yeah. So that was fun. I'll just get on you, Mum. So another thing I was thinking is difficult when you're trying to do things like, I don't know, put jam on top of your peanut butter or spread more spread. I would go to do these things and I could have all the best intentions in the world, like I was really planning to do it. But once I got into the kitchen, I would get this like barrage of thoughts, and then I'd get like food paralysis where I honestly couldn't move. I'd be in the kitchen like, I don't know what to do, like torn between what I'd gone in intending to do and then this horrible thing that had come over me, making me feel awful. And the best thing I could do in my recovery, honestly, to combat that was just totally block the thoughts and go against them. You can't try and negotiate with these thoughts. So say that snack that I've just had, I picked it up at a cafe, so I didn't know how many calories were in it, and I could get thoughts like, oh, this snack's more calories than your snack was yesterday, you can't have this. I've got a friend coming over tonight, we're gonna cook for her, I'm not sure what, or maybe we'll get a takeaway. So then I'd be like, oh, well, you're not allowed this now then if you're cooking for a friend tonight. Like literally thought. But you just can't negotiate with these thoughts. Like I used to think like, once I feel okay doing it, then I'll do it. But then you never do feel okay, like there is always another thought. At the end of the day, you just need to do this stuff. Thinking it and wanting it beforehand is not gonna get you better. It's just actions. And even if the actions feel so wrong, like you can feel yourself gaining weight, you feel awful, you feel terrible, you think you're an awful person, anxious, frustrated, guilty. I've been there, I've felt all of these things day after day after day, to be honest. But it's okay, like, it's okay to feel like that. You don't need to feel perfect all the time. Like I used to think, oh, well, I can't do it today because I won't be productive and I've got a lot of work on. Like, fuck it. That's the shit that keeps you in an eating disorder. It's never the perfect time. Like, at some point you have to break that cycle, because if you don't, you stay in the cycle. And then a month passes, a year passes, 10 years pass, and you still can't get a muffin for your snack, or you still can't spread what you want to spread on your toast. So my friend's coming over for dinner any minute, and Brendan has made us spaghetti bolognese. And I also have a little puppy. Bertie! Okay, he's sniffing stuff. So I have no idea what Bren's put in this.
Oh!
What ingredients have been used. I didn't watch him make it. Like, it doesn't matter. Normal people make normal food. I can eat the same as other people. So it's nice being cooked for. This is another thing that terrified me at the beginning of my recovery, is like extra calories, unnecessary calories, just like spread on a bagel. And it only doesn't scare me now because I challenged it so repeatedly, like for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I felt so shit and anxious and guilty doing it, but just did it anyway. And now I don't feel that scared. Like, it is just cheese now. Like, food is just food. It's just joining in with everybody else and having the same dinner, which is exactly what I wanted to be able to do in my life. I don't want to have weird meg adaptations of meals, or like my food taken out before certain ingredients get put in. Like, that's bullshit. It feels really odd getting dressed up and ready. Like, I haven't been going out very much recently. I guess just with being pregnant, like not being well and stuff like that. So, and a couple of things about this video. On the topic of challenging scary things like more spread, cheese on pasta. I try and use the expression once it's in, it's in. Like, challenges aren't a one-off thing. It's no good getting to the point where you're comfortable with something and then never doing it again, because the fear just builds straight back up. So like, if you're challenging yourself, you're doing it so that it becomes a regular part of your diet. It doesn't become a challenge anymore, like it just becomes normal. So yeah, once it's in, it's in. Also, in my videos at the moment, I think I'm wearing gym clothes quite a lot. It is not because I'm going to the gym. I don't go to the gym at all. All I do is yoga, exercise-wise. But I'm 6 months pregnant, like, I'm going for comfort these days. So when I'm in the house, which is when I record, I wear a lot of like pajama shorts, exercise leggings, baggy dresses. So yeah, it's not that I'm like some crazy workout fanatic. But even still, that doesn't need to justify your behaviour. Like, someone might be going to the gym, like a sister or a friend, somebody you know. Different bodies, different paths. Like, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It doesn't mean you need to do it. Better get going, head for dinner. Yeah, I'm going.